Poland Daily Business Edition, and we will talk tonight about drone market, the growing exponentially segment of the market, which involves manufacturing of the drones, operating of the drones, and also regulating. The Polish regulator, Małgorzata Dąbrowska from Ministry of Infrastructure, is in our studio. Ma'am, welcome to the show. And please tell us, why do we need to regulate the drone market from the first
from the scratch? Yes. Why? Because we need to regulate. Actually, I will start with that. We do have regulations for drones because Poland introduced the first BVLOS regulation early this year in January. So this is our local regulation, but a set of European Union regulation, will enter into force in July next year. So it means that we have the regulatory framework for drones. And why we do need? Because drones used for the commercial purposes is something new in our environment. It's something that which need to be regulated to make the new area safe and accepted by the society and safe for commercial operation. I cannot imagine that any president of the big company will use drones extensively without having the proof that it's safe.
Right. The safety is paramount importance here, but let us start from the scratch. We have this drones that started as a military equipment, then it was used as toys. We have hundreds of thousands of different drones used as a toys, and then we are building services over that. And until recently, the Polish law permitted the usage of the drones only within the radius of visibility of the operator.
Starting from January this week, actually drones flying out of BVLOS, it means beyond the side of life of operator, was admitted before January 2019. But it was very difficult to organize the BVLOS flight with the use of drones because it was very similar to the regular aviation. Starting from January, let's say February this year, it's quite very easy. It's easier to fly BVLOS. So Poland is one of the first countries in the world which approved.
Do we
BVLOS.
already have a market and services that are based on that out of sight flight?
We do have very small market, but it's growing fastly. So fast, and we see that starting from entering to the force the regulation, the market is growing. The growth is according to our estimates is 48% per year. So it's a big growth, and we expect that the growth that we can see this year will be much more extensive next year, and very big in 2021. Because I will just explain. Now the companies, the drone companies, and the users just are learning how to use drones for BVLOS. They are introducing the operation. Next year will be the, let's say, using the drones which are bought this year for BVLOS, but I assume that next year the Polish special forces, no military, but for example the Polish police, the fire guys will plan spendings for 2021 because next year the certification process will be approved. So it means that we can expect big, significant purchases not next year, but in 2021.
In the area of professional drones that are like couple of times more expensive than those.
Yes, and certified, which is very important.
Certified. What is the way of certification of the drone?
We have two, let's say, regimes for certification. One regime is imposed by the European Union. Let's say we are using the European for the civil aviation. We have three categories of drones: open category, specific, and certified. The middle specific category means that we can use, for example, the open category drone, but this specific drone needs to be approved and verified by the Civil Aviation Authority. But in the third category, the certified, it will be certified similarly to the traditional aviation. So this is the civil aviation regime, but the regime for the state aviation, drone state aviation, will be determined, I hope, next year.
So everything is going on. The market is growing 48% last year and even more this year. And if you speak about 2020, the growth will be very significant. Małgorzata Darowska of Ministry of Infrastructure is trying to regulate and lead the innovation in that market. Thank you very much for visiting our studio. And that was it for tonight's Poland Daily Business.